Spotlight.
What? Oh. Hi. Oh, you're recording. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, I'm Eric Henninger, and I'm an independent filmmaker here locally in the Lexington, Kentucky area. And tell you a little bit of how I got started into this stuff. I had gone back to BCTC to get my associate's degree, kind of looking at like an emphasis in English, taking a lot of literature classes. And for an elective class, I took film studies with Michael Benton, or I'm sorry, intro to film. That's what it was, intro to film with Michael Benton. And I just had always liked movies, but it just kind of really sparked my interest on the themes and the creative process behind it. So I got together with some friends. We wrote a little script. It's terrible. You'll never ever see it unless it's rewritten and reshot. But we made a project. And from there, I decided after receiving my associate's degree that I wanted to look into film stuff some more. And I took the semester-long script-to-screen class for at BCTC. Got to study with some really cool people, work with some really cool people, some other students there that I'm still in touch with and still do projects with today, which is super neat. And then I went from there. I transferred to Asbury University and double majored in film production and in theater and cinema performance. And so that brings us here today, I guess, just doing different projects. Yeah, okay. I've done a couple like larger independent films that not that I've coordinated or produced or anything, but that I've got a chance to be part of the crew. Did some behind the scenes filming and some PA stuff for a film called Unrequited, which was shot in and around, like where were we? We were in Winchester, we were in Sadieville, and in Lexington, and that was a project that my acting professor at Asbury had gotten off the ground. So that was a fun project to be a part of. I don't know if it's been released in the United States yet. You might be able to get it if you're in Russia. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the distribution deal was, but it's a really good film, and it was a lot of fun to be part of it. And then a few years ago, I got to be part of the story development and second AD and local casting director, lots of hats, for a faith-based project called Summer Snow that filmed in Nicholasville and Lexington and in Wilmore.
Okay.
Great project there. So good opportunities. And lots of good experiences that have kind of helped inform everything else that I do or that I don't want to do. Man, you know what? Like, that's a tough question because there's so many good filmmakers out there that are doing it on a professional level, you know, that I think for me, the draw is the ability to tell stories that connect with people and that connect with the human condition on one level or another. Sometimes that's happy, sometimes it's sad, you know, sometimes it makes us angry, sometimes it gives us hope. And I love exploring the human condition and telling stories that connect with an audience. Hopefully if we do it right, somebody connects with it on a certain level. But that's the idea, and I think that that artists have an opportunity to, whether it's through film or through song or through, you know, different art forms, to connect and to hopefully spark a conversation or cause somebody to see the world through a different lens, so to speak. See and understand somebody else's perspective.
Right.
I've done a little bit of everything. I find myself doing a lot of, for our own projects, doing a lot of producing. So just kind of putting stuff together, making sure stuff happens, and of course I have a producing partner on our current project, and so I don't have to do all of it, which is also nice. But I love directing too, and for me, like I really like. I'm a real meat and potatoes kind of director. Like I'd almost rather have like a really strong performance from the actors than a really cool epic shot, if that makes sense. I mean, you want it to look nice, right?
Yes.
But I'm okay with like a few shot close-ups and tell the story with the performances. But sometimes you have to think beyond that. I'm really not. I think there might be times where I'm so married to an idea that I'll push for it. But one of the things I like about film is the collaborative nature of it, especially leading up to a production. I think if you've got too many people involved in the calling the shots on set, it can get real messy and nobody's really clear on who's in charge. But prior to that, like working with my DP, working with a co-writer or with another producer, and kind of hashing out the ideas and what the visuals of it and what we want it to look like. And then when I get on set, I love to connect with my DP because I think he's the guy we work with a lot. He's a lot smarter than I am, and so it's fun to go, hey, this is what I'm seeing. You know, do you have anything that would make that even better? And sometimes I feel like I get lucky and I have the best idea, but most of the time he's like, oh, that's a great idea. You know, what if we did? And so the collaborative nature of it makes, you can look at a piece that we've done and, it might say directed by, let's say it's one thing that I'm directing, directed by Eric Henninger, but really it's like
everybody's work. It's everybody's
work.
Visions into the thing.
And even if I write it, I put it on the page, but then my DP makes it come alive and makes it look a certain way. And then beyond that, then your cast, like casting it and having actors that are passionate about what you're trying to do and are giving you 100%. And as an actor, working with other actors in either capacity, either sharing the screen or as a director, it's just fun to sit back and watch. Especially locally.
Locally.
It's very difficult. So the best advice that I was ever given in some workshop I was in, it was I was a workshop with, I can't remember the guy's name, I think it was Barry Cook. He directed like Mulan and a couple other animated films. But he said when students ask him that question, like how do you get in the industry? And he's in the industry on a level that we're not in it on. We're in on it on this local indie level, and they're in it on this multi-million-dollar budget level, which would be cool. But he'll ask people, well, what do you do? What do you want to do? And students will say, well, I want to write, or I want to direct. And he would say, okay, well, what have you written? And he said, more often than not, I get the answer, nobody's asked me to write anything yet. Or nobody's asked me to direct anything yet. He's like, right, and nobody's going to ask you. So if you want to be a writer, write. Write something, even if nobody sees it but you. If you want to be a director, you don't need a $100,000 camera to go make a story.
Get a camera and go outside.
Get a camera and just start shooting stuff. Because you start learning what works, what doesn't work, what looks nice, what doesn't look nice, and you start learning how to visually tell the story. And it'll probably suck for a little while. But that's how we learn, and then we get to the point where we know how to visually tell the story we're trying to tell.
Tell the camera, like the camera will tell the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you've got a good story, and you've got good actors that can carry the story, and you got a crappy camera, that's okay. Like that's good. You just get out and do it. This is a dangerous question, and it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? I'm glad that I went to school and studied. I did the film program at BCTC. I did film stuff at Asbury, and I spent a semester in Los Angeles. Why school is good is because it gives you a chance to kind of learn the ropes, kind of learn the ins and outs of a lot of different things. From even if you want to be a cameraman, you should still understand what a good script looks like. So to learn, the basics, the fundamentals of writing a script. Even the fundamentals of acting. If you want to direct, if you want to direct, you should understand what an actor's process looks like. Yeah. It gives you an opportunity to learn to work with other people, to take direction, to learn how to connect with different personality types because you're with so many people. And it's even get your hands on some basic gear and start understanding things like, if you don't know them already, things like, well, what is an aperture? What is a shutter speed? And all this stuff. And how do we make this image look like this? Whatever it is. Anyway, it's good to learn all that stuff. But the only way to start being able to do it well is to do it. It's just to get out and do it and start experimenting and start playing, get together with friends and, make a little project and start figuring out how things work. Watch a movie and figure out how did they do that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously we don't, you won't have a, you know, a $10 million special effects budget, but what can we do in the camera? What can we do, you know, that's visually stimulating and exciting with no money and with no special effects? What can we do to make it, you know? So I think getting out and doing is the only way to get better at it and to learn on a different level. But I think it's good to have that base knowledge to kind of give you the confidence to go, oh, I can go out and start experimenting. But that's up to you. Maybe, like, for me, it was all new to me. I just liked watching movies. And so I connected with people that knew what they were doing and kind of learned from them. And then I learned from classes and were able to apply that to different things. And then those things that I was learning and applying in class projects, then you apply to your passion projects, you know, outside of that. So yeah, so school's good, but I think, I mean, if you didn't have, you know, the money to go to school, which can be kind of tough in this day and age, you know, maybe you can't afford, you know, $15,000 a semester to go somewhere and study film, but can you afford? Can you spring, you know, for $600 on a camera with a decent lens? Well, then do that. If you can't do the, you know, you can't do the other, or connect with somebody that knows how to do it and just shadow them and follow them around and pick people's brains. I learn more by picking people's brains